Hey guys, Daniel James here, and today is the 21st of February 2017. I just wanted to do a video today to update everybody with where I've been and where all the videos for this channel are and where when they're going to be coming. So first, let me just update you with where I've been. So I'm currently living in Los Angeles, California. If you were following my adventures last year, we lived in Tokyo for a bit, me and JJ. We lived in Tokyo. Then we moved to Hungary for a bit, and then we moved out to LA for a bit. We moved here for a few months, on the visa waiver thing, just to see if we enjoyed it here, see if we liked it, and we did. So I applied for the O1 visa, which is Artists with Extraordinary Ability, and I got that. I was granted that, which was really lucky because apparently they're quite hard to get these days, particularly nowadays. Say no more. But so I got that, which was, actually quite a nice personal achievement for me. So first of all, the move is quite a big one, moving all my things from England to America. That's quite a task, and getting all the paperwork, that was a task within itself. But all the while this is going on, I had to finish up an animation, and then I got to work on some things for Amazon, which you guys know. If you go to the game's called Play Breakaway, we announced that last year. That's the video game for Amazon that I'm working on. So I've been working on that, and that's had some deadlines on it. So that's kept me busy. Also had some things with Red Bull and little bits and pieces here and there that I've just been working on. And when you stack them all on top of the move and the visa, it didn't leave much time for me. So that's where I've been. So what are we going to be up to? So I'm at the tail end of most of these projects, and I've allocated a bit of time for doing things that I enjoy doing. Like the videos, streaming on Twitch, things like that. So we've got plenty of that coming up. There's still a few more weeks left of me doing that. But so what are they going to be about? So there's been so many new sample libraries and plugins, and I've changed from Ableton Live to Cubase. So there's all these new videos that I'm really looking forward to doing. I just haven't had the time yet. But rest assured, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. So that's what I've been up to. So I before I did this video today, I actually put out on Twitter if anybody asked any questions. So I thought I'd answer some of those as well. I've got some here on Twitter. So Matthew Harnage, sounds a bit like Carnage. He says, I'd love to hear you talk about your reverb setup. Also, any tips on using synths in orchestral pieces to make them more unique? So my reverb setup, I use a few different reverbs. So I have reverbs for different things. So on my, if you know my template, and again, we'll go over this, it's the same in Cubase as it was in Ableton Live. I have empty instances of contact for each section, and that's what my template is. So I have a bus set up for strings, so it's and that's an empty instance of contact, and that's where I load all my string instruments, and that just has MIDI tracks linked to it. And then I have one for brass, one for percussion, one for wind, one for synths, and then one for just other stuff and choir, and I think I said wind anyway. And so what I do is I have one reverb, which is my bus reverb, and I use as an insert. So this allows me, so I use Arts Acoustic reverb for my orchestral section buses. So strings has its own preset, brass has its own preset, percussion has its own reset. They're the only ones I use, and wind has a combination, but it shifts depending on whether I want it to be ethereal wind or action, wind. So I'll put that Arts Acoustic on those buses as an insert, and then what I do is, the reason I use Arts Acoustic, it's an algorithmic one, which means it isn't based on real rooms, but you can recreate different sized rooms. And the reason I use this over something like Valhalla is this Arts Acoustic is very good at recreating the sound, the sound of a room, as opposed to a really long tail. Some reverbs like Valhalla or Black Hole or whatever, their reverb tails are good at being spacious and they go off into the distance, but it doesn't feel like a room. Whereas Arts Acoustic is algorithmic, but it feels like a room. So I use that primarily for the section, so I can design the room. And if I want, my strings feel like they're too dry, or like they're too tight, maybe the music wants to feel like it's more flowing around and stuff, I can make the tails of them longer. Or if the samples I'm using have tails which cut off very suddenly, they're like some of the older Spitfire and Cinesamples one, like when you lift off the note as you would with a string, the note stops playing. But sometimes you want that to carry over. You want it to feel like there's a room tail on it. So you can make the room bigger, and it doesn't feel like you're adding an artificial tail to it. It feels like it's the room is. It feels like the sound is going out into the room in a more natural way. So anyway, I have those on the bus, and then I have a few others. So I have Black Hole, which is a filthy sounding plugin, but it's that one's more of a sound designy one. So that one has like pitch modulation and things on the tail, and it's definitely, if you're trying to do those dreamy, how would you say, it's like dreamy, ethereal. I keep using the word ethereal, but it's like dreamy, ethereal, and weird sounding tails. So I use that for that. If ever I want something to just sound big or long, or I'm making a Bram or an Impact or something, I want it to have a tail. Where it doesn't have to sound like a room, it just needs more tail, I'll add Valhalla Room, which is incredible. And then if I want something to sound real, so say like, as you can see here, I'm in my new studio, by the way. It's quite an echoey room, but it's a very dry room as well, which is a very, that's a oxymoron, that's a paradox. But anyway, it's because it's a very dry room. Like I can record percussion or something in here, like a drum, and close mic it, and then I use Reverb 7, and that is very good at making things sound like they're in an actual room. Arts Acoustic is good at making it feel like a room, but Reverb makes it feel like it was recorded in a real space, which sounds like something you'd want for the orchestral sections, but in practice it never really seems like that's what I want. Like I actually, I would prefer a string to be more tailored to the track, as opposed to strings go in Todd AO room and then that's all you get, because it never quite works out that way, and it's too limited. But for example, say I record like a small drum in here, and then I put it in the Todd AO recording stage, and then I put it through the same reverb I use for my percussion section. It kind of glues those together, but it makes the drum I recorded here sound more impressive. There's something about it being recorded in a bigger space which makes it feel more legitimate, because all film scores usually are recorded in big, expensive rooms. And so if you record something small, or you record something and then make it feel like it's recorded in a bigger room, it does kind of add a legitimacy to the sound. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just a weird hang up I personally have, but it, to me it sounds more legitimate. And then, when you run it through another reverb, you can design it to be how you want it. I think that's all the reverbs I use. I sometimes will use like the what's it called, Reflector, that's in Guitar Rig 5, I think it is now, or 6. And what I actually do with that is I drag in a random sound and I use it as an impulse response. So if you want to do some weird sound designy things, try giving that a go, because you can just drag it straight in. So that's pretty much how I do my reverbs. And now I will pull up the next question. So Jared Spence asks, what's the best way to make connections in the industry when you're just starting out? So this is an interesting one. So if you look on YouTube all the way back to my YouTube beginnings, that's when I started my career. Like I think it was maybe 2 projects after when I actually started. My first ever my first ever actual project that I worked on, which is where I consider my career starting, was 2009 on a fan film for Metal Gear called Metal Gear Solid Philanthropy. And so when I started, you can actually track how my career progressed. So if you're looking to see what a career kind of looks like in videos, you can kind of see where I begin, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm convinced I do. And then I get to that stage where you're good enough to know how shit you are at your job, and you can see that kind of happen. And now I'm at a stage where I'm kind of accepting of what I do. I still don't think I'm the best in the world. I've got so much to learn, but I'm improving, and I can look back. So first off, like on a personal level, before you're looking about how to push yourself into the outside world, try and first bring it home. Like, where are you? Where are you in your career? And be brutal and realistic about it. So if you're just starting out, chances are, J.J. Abrams and Michael Bay aren't going to be knocking down your door anytime soon. They're not knocking on mine. If you're watching, please do. It's, we're in LA now, so, Anyway, you've just got to be brutally honest with yourself, and you're like, okay, where's my level? Where are my skill sets? Right now. And there's no shame in being at the beginning. We all started somewhere. And if you're right at the beginning, the best thing to do is go out and find people who are making projects at the same level you are. So filmmakers who are just starting out, game developers who are just starting out. And the way to get involved in these is to go to communities where these people will hang out and talk to each other. So I forget what they're called. I think the one I used back in the day for films, there was one called the DVX Forum, I think it was, and that was a camera. It was a film camera message board. So it's where people would talk about the cameras that they're buying, and obviously people who buy cameras are directors. So there'd be parts of show your footage, show your short films, and I would start conversations with those people. I would talk about the making of film and things like that with these people, and then when they'd inevitably at some point say, "Oh, I'm working on a film." And if you're the only composer they know, you're going to be the first place they go. But more specifically, if you're someone they like, they're going to come to you, and that's the most important thing. So whenever you go to these, whenever you start trying to work with someone, never be fake. So when I say go to like the DVX forum, or go to a filmmaking forum or a game development forum, I'm not saying go there and post, "Hi, composer for hire, I will work for free or cheap." Never do that, because there's so many people that do that, and unfortunately a lot of the quality of the people that do that is very low. So when people see that, they automatically, based on conversations I had, this isn't just assumption, they assume that the quality is going to be low. And you might be good, you might have progressed a bit, you may want to get jobs. That's not the way to get work. So, and this ties into something I always say, that I hate the word networking, because it sounds so disingenuous to what you actually should be doing. And that is making friends with people who have similar interests to you. So if you are a composer and you want to get into making film, you should love films. Like, if you don't watch films on a regular basis, if you don't care for Hollywood movies, if you don't care for TV shows, you're going to have a shitty time writing music for them, because you have to love what you're working on in order to love working on it. You've got to love the actual industry in which you're trying to get into. So, like I've seen this many times. It's like I'll see a film composer and he's saying, "Oh yeah, I want to get game gigs." And I'm like, "Do you?" And then I try and start a conversation about video games. And I don't like video games. And then lo and behold, they work on a video game and they complain. They say they didn't enjoy the experiences because they don't understand and they don't really love the work that they're doing. They feel that they should be doing it because people say they should be doing it. Like, if you're a composer and you don't watch films, don't do films, because you may enjoy it, but like the chances are you're not going to enjoy it. But when it comes back round to networking, so let's say you pass that first barrier, that you actually love the industry you're working on. Go to these forums as a member of the forum. Don't go there as I'm an outsider, I'm a composer, I'm coming to your forum, I'm bestowing myself upon you peons. Don't do that. Nobody likes that guy. Go in and muck in with the other people. Like, get involved in the discussions. Have opinions on people's work. Be creative. Be critical. But in a positive way. Actually get in and make friends with people who share common interests with you, and that's where the work comes from. That's where these lifelong partnerships, your Spielberg and John Williams come from. It's people who share like common interests. When you hear those two talk to each other, they have like a language. They both have an understanding and a respect for the craft that they're doing, and they bonded over that and they made friends. So when it comes down to like Spielberg making a film, John Williams is the first point of call. Not John Williams is the the best, but it's more because they're friends. And he knows that they share a common interest, and he knows he'll get it. So, if you want to get on in this career, you have to go out and make friends. Not go out and meet people, not go out and give them your business card, not go out and splurge how good you are on people's faces. Go out there and make friends with people who share the common interest, and it's that easy. Like in a week's time, I'm going to be attending GDC in San Francisco, and I'm not going there to network. I'm going there to see if I can make some new friends. Like, I already know a bunch of composers there who know other people that I don't, so hopefully I'm going to get to be involved with those people, and I know that the conversation isn't going to be easy. I'm not nervous about meeting new people or meeting people who may one day have work, because I know that when I talk to them, the conversation will come easy to me, because we have a common basis, a common love of the industry we're in, to have a conversation that isn't, please give me work, I'm a desperate, starving artist. It's no, this is really awesome. Oh, you love this game too? Well, I love it too because of this. And he's like, oh, you love it because of that? I love it because... And you'll find that conversations like that turn into friendships. Something will come up like 3 months down the line, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that guy would love to hear this. You message him, and then you re-spark that conversation. And a lot of the jobs I get these days are from conversations and friends I made from years ago, or they're friends of friends I've made. It's all about it. You'll find this once the longer and the further you get into this industry of music, you'll find that it's such a small industry when you really look upon it. I mean, there's like, if you get to the top tier, think how many people do all the Hollywood movies. You've got your John Williams, your Hans Zimmers. And then, where do you go from there? Your Silvestris, your Harry Gregson Williams. You can name a few, but there comes a point where you're like, there's not many more than that. There's probably like 20 guys that do all the big Hollywood films. That's 20 people. Think how many people call themselves a composer. There's 20 people that do it at the high level. Then there's like the mid-tier level where, most of the people who are working, maybe you don't know, they're not a household name, but they're working. They're in the middle, and then there's just a lot of people in the lower level, who are getting into it. But we all started at that low level. You get to the middle, and then if you're lucky enough, you get to the high. And so the thing to remember about it is it's a very small industry. So when you know people in the industry, you'll find that you're only one step off of someone else in the industry. Like you could say any name in the video game industry, and I've probably met and had a conversation with somebody who knows that person. So that's how small of an industry it is. And so the biggest bit of advice, and this isn't just like for appearance, don't do this just for appearance, like really suck this into your soul. Don't be a dick. Like if you're a dick, stop it. Just stop being a dick. Stop being a dick right now. Go stand outside in the rain or something. Wash the dick off of you. Come back and be a good human being. Because nobody likes a dick. When you get to the top level and your work speaks for itself, if you want to go off and be the pretentious douche, go do it. But if you're starting out and you get a bit of criticism on your work, or you're having a conversation with someone and you think you know better than them, that person is not going to want to be with you. The same as if you went to a Starbucks and some random stranger started talking to you and he was being a douche about how good he is, and he thinks everything you do is subpar, or your opinions don't matter. You're not going to talk to that guy. But if someone comes up and you strike up a conversation about a common interest that you love, you both agree with things, you both have, shared passion for certain things, you are going to make friends with that person. And if that person one day needs someone to provide the skills that you possess, who do you think they're going to call? It's that simple. So just don't be a dick and meet people to make friends. So yeah, that's what I've been up to for the past few months since I did my last video. And I really do want to thank everybody for the support that you've been giving me. A lot of the projects, and I'm well aware of the fact that a lot of the projects that I've been privileged enough to be given over the past couple of years are mostly due to the amount of enthusiasm a lot of you guys show for the work I do. Because that does go, that doesn't go unnoticed. The fact that you guys indulge me all this all this time of yours, to talk about things that I like. Again, this goes back to the networking. We share common interests. So when I talk about writing music, I love to share it with everybody because I love doing it. So. I'm aware that without you guys, it wouldn't be as public as it is. So, I for things like my O1 visa and, like some of the jobs, I'm fully aware of the fact that if it wasn't for you guys, I might not have had that opportunity, because not only have you pushed me towards, not only have you pushed me harder to to achieve these things, so that mostly so I can show you guys this. Look, this is how we do it, on camera. But like, again, the support that you've shown over the years has been incredible, and hopefully you guys are getting something out of these videos in return. But yeah, so I want to thank everybody. Firstly for for the support and stuff, but secondly for watching this video. If you want to be able to keep up with what I'm up to when I'm not doing YouTube videos, the best place to do it right now is on Twitter, and my handle is @H2Daniel. So H, the number 2, and then Daniel. And I always post there when I'm going on live stream, when I'm making a video, if I want questions like we did for today's video, or if I'm working on a project that I'm allowed to talk about, that's where it's going to be posted. So make sure to follow there. And if anybody's at GDC, the 2017 GDC, so if you're watching this way in the future, sorry you've missed it. But if anybody's going to be at GDC 2017, do let me know. I'm going to be there for the duration, and I would love to hang out with some of you guys when I'm there. So thanks again everybody for watching the video today, and I will see you all in the next one.